Hey guys, I thought it was a good time to do another day in the life of the violin maker. I've got some really interesting stuff that I'm doing, so I thought you might want to watch in, see what I'm doing. Of course, first of all, I have to have my coffee. And I've got a few projects today, so I'm kind of excited about these. One is a violin that has lost its neck graft. The neck graft has come out, and these things do happen sometimes. So this gives me an opportunity to really fit the neck graft the way it should have been fitted, you know, like 50 or 60 or longer years ago when it was first done. So I'm just, I was actually in the process of just smoothing out these areas, making sure it all fits 100%. Yesterday I already made a counter mold. So this is the counter mold that I will show you. So the counter mold just means that there's really, when I'm gluing, there's really even pressure on all of the scroll, so nothing can break. So I've made this counter mold. I've already put some Glad wrap on there to make sure that the mold doesn't stick to the varnish. I make the counter mold from something we call Builder's Bog in Australia, or Builder's Bog or car bog, which is car filler putty. It dries really quickly, so they used to make these out of plaster, and they would take weeks to dry, and I don't really want to wait for weeks, and my client has a concert coming up, so I want to make sure that I get her and her instrument back together. This is the beautiful Sebastian Dellinger violin. I actually made a video about it before, and yes, unfortunately the neck graft has come out, and but I'm going to glue it so it's going to be really firm for the next 50 to 100 years. The other work I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a Hoffmeister violin. I just sent one off to, actually I have to package that one to send. I'll show you guys. That one's going off to, I think it's Virginia, somewhere in the States, to an enthusiastic player. He's already bought a Piere Lomont violin, so it's really exciting, and you know who you are if you're watching. Your violin is on its way. Actually, by the time we publish this video, the violin's probably already arrived and you're probably already playing it. It does take me a little while. The other instrument I am doing is I'm just doing a little bit of retouching on this viola where I have adjusted the neck height, and I've got some finishing touches to do, so it's going to be an exciting day. I'm really looking forward to it, so let's get into it. So I've done the counter mold for this. I have to do another counter mold for in here. I need to make sure that this area in here is totally firm when I glue it, so there can be no movement, because I want to apply clamp pressure from both sides, but this is so thin it could squeeze it together. Okay, so I have to fit like a little wedge that just sits inside here. That's fitting pretty perfectly. So once I glue this in like this, I can put a clamp in from both sides here, just one clamp, clamping the whole thing together, and that'll give it a really stable surface. I'll be putting a clamp in from the top, so I have to cut this right back. There we go, much smaller. I've got to be careful. I'm going to have to wrap this in Glad wrap, otherwise I might accidentally glue it in and it'll become a permanent fixture of the violin. So this is already here. And then I have to put on clamps from both sides. Okay, I just made a little clamping block. I just sanded it, and so that can go on this side here. And then I'll apply clamps from either side. So I just need one more clamping block from the top here, so I'll make that as well. And then when I glue, I have to be just very fast. I just had to feed the magpies. Hey little guy. We really are close. Anyway, back to work. So made my little other clamping block. Now I'm gonna wrap all these clamping blocks into glad wrap. Okay, I waited a little while. The glue is hot. That's intense. Okay. It's always a really scary moment, this, because this whole thing, like the problem with the glue is I use hide glue and as soon as it gets cold, it slips. So you need to make sure you have the glue hot enough and then firmly clamped enough and then let it sit very still for the next few hours. Most of the gluing action will start probably in the first 5 minutes. So as long as it's firm in the first 5 minutes, I think you're quite good. But to me, it's looking really good, so now we wait. I don't think I'll check that one till tomorrow morning, but I will film that bit when I take it apart so you can see how it all turned out. Okay, so what's my next job? I'm going to set up a Hoffmeister violin. I want to play in the fingerboard. So I'm going to do that first. You've seen me playing fingerboards before, so this is going to be a very short montage. Fantastic. Okay, I'm probably warm now, so I'm gonna have to take this jumper off. So yeah, if it's a little bit cooler day, just playing a fingerboard and you'll get nice and warm. I mean, here in Queensland in Australia, we don't really know proper cold weather. We'll sometimes it'll get quite cool in the morning if we have southwesterly winds. So they come from the south, from the Antarctic, and then from the west, and so the land cools down a lot, so it can sometimes get to 0 or 1 degrees Celsius, but that's nothing compared to, you know, Europe or Canada, America. It's all pretty mild, and most days I end up just wearing a t-shirt. By the time it's you know, early morning might be cold, but then during the day it'll warm up to maybe 24 degrees Celsius, which is really nice and warm. So now I'm going to fit a bridge for the Hoffmeister, Georg Hoffmeister violin. They're so beautiful. I basically designed these because I love old German instruments, and so I designed it to look like a 200-year-old instrument, German instrument, but without any of the problems that antique instruments have and without the price tag. So I'm going to make the bridge for the Georg Hoffmeister. Alright, that one's ready to go. So I just have to sort out the tailpiece, adjust the string height at the nut and put on strings. But now I actually have to go into the shop area and package up the Georg Hoffmeister violin that I'm sending to America. I've let it settle overnight. Had it all set up with the obbligato strings. I usually set it up with obbligato strings, but the player was after evaporati strings, so I had to let it settle in for a night. So I'm pretty fussy with these instruments. I give them a very careful check over at the end, just to make sure I'm super happy with everything. Okay, I'm actually super happy with that. So I've actually checked everything over. I was all ready to pack it up and I realized I had the wrong strings. So I'll just give that one last clean over with my beautiful polishing cloth. That is looking really good. So I'm going to pop that in the case and get it all ready and packaged. Alright, this is it. It's goodbye. Okay, I am very happy with that. Yes. Awesome, thank you. Okay, there we go. It's all ready to go and packaged to go to Virginia in America. How exciting. Also, I'm about to head out on lunch and I'm going to ride my bike. Okay, I've got to lock up my shop and I'm out of here. Okay, made it. Forgot. It's just so good. Okay, so had lunch, had a coffee. I'm about to cross the river to get to the other side. Quite a hazy day today. These things happen. So I'm back. Had a fair bit of organising to do. It's actually 3:30. But I've got a client trying a Piere Lomont violin soon. So I want to make sure it sounds good. Ooh. I'm just going to pop this style of chin rest on there. It's a Takas style. I think I'm going to shorten the sound post just a little bit. Okay, that's great. I really like it. It's also a beautiful violin. So hopefully the player likes it. That's awesome. Yeah. Vibrato. But that's a Piere Lamont violin. It's beautiful. Whew, okay. It's actually been a really busy day organising. So the player that came in before really liked the Piere Lomont Master violin. Yeah, I didn't want to film the whole thing. It's like I like interacting with people one-on-one without filming sometimes, but yeah, no, he really loved it, really enjoyed playing it, and the good thing is it has that 30-day money-back guarantee and also a 3-year warranty, so it kind of gives you that extra bit of security. Anyway, I've got to get back to some more work. I've got a couple of things to do here. I'm just finishing, there's a violin I've been working on for a while, and it's needed a lot of work done to the varnish, and I'm nearly finished, so I'm just going to give that a polish over, and then I've got another one, a similar situation, and then I'll probably finish setting up that Hoffmeister violin. I'll end up working into the evening a little bit today. I've still got the other violin in the clamps back there. I think I'm gonna leave it in till tomorrow because I'd rather it really clamps for a long time. Like there's a lot of pressure, a lot of tension in the neck up here, and I need to make sure it holds properly. Okay, I will do some polishing. That's looking pretty amazing. I'm probably going to put the strings on later this evening, so that's good. There is another one that I'm doing for another player. That's an old German violin. It looks so beautiful, doesn't it? It's got a really beautiful back, and there's something kind of special about the top. I think it's a Bohemian violin from the late 1800s. That is really nice. Look at that. And while I'm polishing, I may as well keep going and do the next one. Alright. Okay, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to do a bit of work in my storage room that I'm building, and then I'll come back and probably work maybe 1 or 2 hours in the evening. Okay, so it's evening. I did a bit of work on a storeroom I'm currently building. Just have to have a really good storeroom, especially in the Australian climate, to keep have it humidity controlled for instruments. So yeah, that's something I'm working on at the moment. Hence all the, look at all this sawdust and all sorts of things. It's fairly late in the evening, so I will actually extend this day in the life of over 2 days, as usual. There's nothing new to that, is there? I seem to do that nearly every time. But I promise you it won't be any longer than 2 days. The great thing is I want to put the strings on this Hoffmeister violin. Okay, I'm going to let these strings settle overnight. Just give the instrument a quick clean. Yes, but I'm very happy with that. It looks really beautiful. Anyway, that's me done for today. I will see you in the morning. Good morning. Starting a little late today. I did a bit more work on my storage area this morning. Really looking forward to taking the clamps off that other repair. Let's grab it. None of the counter molds stuck because I put Glad wrap on them. They just come straight off, no varnish lost or anything. Yeah, that actually looks nice and firm. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, it's got good connectivity the entire way through. That'll actually work beautifully. Fantastic. I can hang that up and I'll work on that a bit later. Okay, so it's kind of getting interesting here, and I think there's a second video here because I want to make sure that you guys really get to see how I finish the old German violin, and there's a bunch of other interesting repair jobs that I'm doing and that I'll finish. I'm going to leave the video here. If you liked what you saw, press like and subscribe, hit the little bell. And then in the next video, you'll see how I finish the old German violin, get it ready to play and ready to send for the player, as well as a whole lot of other interesting repairs. I don't know, I just got so many different things that I work on that you just can't fit it into one video. So I'll be uploading that other video as soon as I can, probably within the week. And in the meantime, keep making beautiful music, enjoy playing, and I'll see you guys on the second half of this video. Bye!